Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. This evening on page 234, at the bottom of the page, we're going to begin with the Upasamhar Mudra. And that mudra says, everyone, all divine beings assembled together, I'm calling you all. Vayami Agni Pratamang Swastai. Vayami Mitra Baruna Bihavasai. Vayami Ratrin Jagato Niveshaning. Vayami Devang Savitar Mutaye. I'm calling you, Agni, the divine fire, the light of meditation, first to grant success. I'm calling you friendship and the continuous flow of equilibrium. Also, please receive this offering. I'm calling the night of duality who covers the universe. I am calling the light of wisdom, the divine being, to rise up within us. O golden womb, you are the one eternal existence from which all beings on the earth have come forth. You always bear the earth and all that rises upon us. You tell us. To which God shall we offer our knowledge and attention? There are 33 crore. There are a lot of gods and goddesses. In fact, every single name for every single form is a name of God. Because God lives in everything. If God lives in everything, then every form is a form of God. If every form is a form of God, then every name is a name of God. So now, which form should we worship? Kasmoi Devaya Habisha Bidmaha. Through knowledge of this eternal cause, all beings born in the universe have come forth. It is in you, O Agni, O light of meditation, in the flame of sacrifice, that this constant movement will find rest. Actually, if you're not in the yajna, and you're not in union, and you're not doing your sadhana, then you're in the world of duality, and there's no rest. We become quite restless. You, O divine light of meditation, are the first among the performers of spiritual discipline. A seer, a god. Your name became one with all the gods. You are the friend of Shiva, the consciousness of infinite goodness. Through devotion to you, all the inspired poets, the rishis who propounded the Vedic knowledge or the wisdom of universality, come to divine knowledge, as did the Maruts, the 49 gods of severe penance, did come forth from your worship. This is really an important verse. It's like the formula of how we propose to proceed. You are the first among the sadhus. You did sadhana. You became a rishi, you became a seer, you became a deva, you became Guru Dev, you became a form of divinity, and then you became one with all the gods. Your name was a symbol for divinity everywhere. You're a friend of Shiva, and from devotion to you, all the other rishis and kavis and sadhus, they'll all come in the future, because you propounded the divine knowledge and you gave us the inspiration. You gave us the example, and we're following that example, and we're going to do the same thing you did. So we're going to become performers of tapasya and performers of sadhana. We'll be called sadhus, and then the sadhus will become rishis, and the rishis will become devas, and the devas will become the friend of Shiva, and our names too will be among the 33 10 times 10 million. 33 times 10 million. How many is that? 330 million. Well, that was the Vedic proclamation. There were 330 million gods. So actually there are a lot more than that, but that just stands for I can't count that high. So those are the forms of divinity. So we too, just like the Maruts, they were 49 divine beings who did tapasya, and they became divine, and they became like the wind that comes across the desert and it blows all beings born. They came forth from the same path of worship. They did sadhana, they did tapasya, they became acharyas, they became teachers, they became rishis, deva nama bhava siva saka. They became the friend of Shiva. You are the mouth of all the gods, big mouth. Saptachira vidmate. You have 7 tongues, and you accept our offerings on 7 levels of consciousness. Hey, please come here, O Lord, God of fire, God of purity, light of meditation, light of purification, and take your seat in the midst of our assembly. Join this yajna. Let us unite the fire here with the fire there. O universal being, knower of all, come here with your red eyes. All of our karma, burn it. I am one with God. O Agni, light of meditation, you are the priest of the sacrifice, serving the offering of the divine nectar of immortality. You give jewels to those who offer. We lovingly adore the divine fire, the light of meditation, sparkling, flaming brightly, knower of all, recipient of our offerings. With his golden color, his excellent golden color, everywhere his omnipresent mouths are devouring oblations. Om, we bow to the divine fire. O divine fire, we are now calling you by the name of Shiva, the consciousness of infinite goodness. We could call you Chandi, we could call you Agni, we could call you the mouth of the gods, we can call you Jataveda, the knower of all. But now we're calling you Shiva. So Shiva, come into the form of Agni as the fire and receive our oblations. We know it's fire, but we're going to call him Shiva anyway. The supreme goddess of speech, dear Mother Saraswati, has just completed her bath following her monthly course of menstruation. With eyes of blue, bestowing boons. See, there were some blue-eyed Hindus in old history as well. With eyes of blue, bestowing boons, she moves into union with Bhagishwar, Brahma, the Lord of all vibrations, and together they create the bhava, or the intensity of reality, the attitude which unites all. Bhagishwari and Bhagishwarai. So we got the female supreme goddess of all vibrations. She's Bhak Devi. And we have the supreme Lord as Brahma in union with Saraswati. They are the male and female aspects of all vibrations, which embody all in vibrations, and together they are the creators. She gives the energy, and he gives the consciousness, and together they bring forth the forms of all existence, the forms of all vibrations. With these scented flowers, we bow to the supreme goddess of speech, or the supreme goddess of all vibrations. With these scented flowers, we bow to the Lord of speech, or the Lord of all vibrations. With these scented flowers, we bow to the 7 tongues of the fire, like golden, Kali, Karali, Manojava, Sulohita, Sudumra, Varna, Ugra, or Sphulingini, or Pradipta. That's black, increasing, or formidable, swift as thought, excellent, shine, purple, fearful, giving light. With these scented flowers, we bow to the heart from which emanates 1,000 rays. In this way, establish the divine fire in the 6 centers of the fire of the body. And now his name is Shiva. Fire's name is Shiva. Om Nam Hridaya Namah Masiro Sesma Sing Shikaya Gibashan Bonga Bachaya Yanetra Trayabasha Om Namah Shivaya Karotaka Prishtabamgastraya Om Namah Shivaya. In the 6 centers of the fire, just give him a flower and put him there in the fire. With these scented flowers, are we bow to the divine fire, the knower of all, Jat the Veda, the knower of all, etc. In his 8 forms of worship. So here we have the 8 forms of the fire: Jat the Veda, Saptajiva, Vaishwanara, Habhyavahan, Ashwadaraja, Kumara Tej, Vishwamukha Devu. The knower of all, the 7-tongued, the universal being, the carrier of oblations, the fire of the stomach. Remember, we got a fire that burns in here too. That's the digestive fire, and the lower areas from which the son of Shiva is born. Shiva was born of the fire in the Agni chakra, the same fire that burned the god of love, which can devour the universe, the mouth of the gods, Deva book. With these scented flowers are we bow to the 8 Shaktis, or energies, like Brahmi, Narayani, Maheshwari, Chamunda, Kumari, Aparajita, Varahi, Narasimhi, the creative energy, the exposer of consciousness, the energy of the seer of all, slayer of passion and meanness, the ever pure one, the unconquerable, the boar of sacrifice, the man lion of courage. That's Brahmi Ashtak Shakti. And with these scented flowers, and we bow to the 8 treasures of the Lord of wealth, like Padma Yasta Nididyo Nama, like Padma Maha Padma Shanka Makara Kachap Mukunda Nanda Nil, the lotus of peace, the great lotus of universal peace, the conch of all vibrations, the emblem of love, tortoise, the emblem of support, the crest gem, or the crest jewel, the bliss, and the blue light within, like a sapphire. That's the light in the Agni chakra. And many of the meditators on Shiva, and especially in the tradition of Kashmiri Shaivism, they talk about the blue pearl, the blue light, the blue sapphire, the blue gem. And instead of being the bright, radiant light like 1,000 suns, he becomes the blue pearl, the blue gem, the blue sapphire. With these scented flowers are we bow to Indra, the protectors of the 10 directions. You got Indra, Agni, Jam, Narit, Varuna, Vayu, Kovera, which is Som, Ishana, Brahma, and Vishnu, which is also Anant. Because Vishnu sits on Anant. So now, when you point in that direction, which one are you pointing to? Are you pointing to the chair or to the occupant? Philosophical question. So you've got Indra in the east, Agni in the southeast, Yam in the south, Narita in the southwest, Varuna in the west, Vayu in the northwest, Som in the north, Isana in the northeast, Brahma above, and Vishnu and Anant below. With these scented flowers on we bow to the thunderbolt and other weapons. You've got the Vajra, Shakti, Danda, Karga, Pash, Ankush, Goda, Trishul, Padma, or the Kamandalu, and the Chakra, which is Indra's thunderbolt, Agni's spear or dart or energy, Jab's staff, that's the staff of discipline, Narit's sword, the sword of wisdom, Varuna's net or his noose, which is the net of unity, Vayu's hook or goad, that's the prod that keeps us moving towards our goal, Kuber's mace or the club, which is the articulation of mantras, Ishana's trident or Trishul, which is where how he unites all the threes, Brahma's lotus or begging bowl, which is his Bhikshapatra, and Kamandalu, his water pot, sacred water pot, where from which he sprinkles the Abhishek, the waters of purity, which take away the prowess of all the demons that are touched by those waters, and Vishnu's discus of revolving time, named excellent intuitive vision. And with these scented flowers, Om we bow to the consciousness of divine fire. With these scented flowers, Om we bow to the image of the divine fire, the light of meditation. Om Agni Namaha. Om, we bow down to the divine fire. Ram, 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 ram. Ra is the subtle body. Ah is the consciousness of Mo. Or Anuswar is perfection. The perfection of consciousness in the subtle body is the Bij mantra of Agni, Ram. It's also the name of purity, Ram. And Ram, the manifestation of perfection in the subtle body of consciousness. Now, the infinite beyond conception consciousness, the subtle canal which rises, purify, purify, burn, burn, bring to perfection, all wisdom, I am one with God. And we're going to establish that divinity within. Om Namah Shivaya Ihagacha Avahani. I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. I invite you, please come. You are welcome here. Shtaponi. I establish you within. Shanitaponi. I know you have many devotees who are requesting your attention, but I request that you pay particular attention to me. Please. I'm a nice boy. I'm doing this just so you'll pay attention to me. So you'll love me just as much as I love you.
Okay.
Ihasani Rudyashwa, I'm binding you to remain here. I'm grabbing onto you. Whoa! Slow down. I'm holding you tightly right here. Don't go. Some Rodani, I'm sorry for any inconvenience this causes you, but you bestow abundant wealth, and I'm a pauper. I need your wealth. I want you to be here. I'm holding you here, Atma Samarpan, because I want to convey the message to you that I surrender my soul. And if you didn't get that message yet, I'm going to do it again. Atma Samarpan, I surrender my soul. I'm depending upon you to forgive me in this matter, but Prakshan, I bow to you. I bow to you with devotion. Dev Mama Pujangri Hana. Oh God, please accept my worship. Grahan Koro. Amar Pujan, Mama Pujan, Grahana. Deva Bhakta Shulave Paritrana Karaite Jabutong Pujai Shami Tabutong Shustira Baba. As long as I am worshipping you.
Shami.
Hang on.
There's Devi Bhakta Shulave.
No, Deva.
Deva Bhakta Shulave.
G.
It should be Bha. B-H. Bha, not Bha.
Shulave.
Bhakta.
Bhakta.
Shulave, not Bhakta.
Ah. Dekchi. Ah. Deva Bhakta Shulave. Okay, now we're going to perform this, the Pran Pratishta. We're going to energize that life. We're going to establish that life within. Om Nang Ring Rong Yang Rang Wang Wang Shang Sang Song Om So Om Namah Shivaya Prana Iya Prana. Om, the infinite beyond conception, creation, the first letter, consciousness, Maya, the cause of the movement of the subtle body to perfection and beyond. The path of fulfillment, control, subtle illumination, one with the earth, emancipation, the soul of peace, the soul of delight, the soul of unity. All this is I, perfection, infinite consciousness. This is I. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. You are the life of this life. Om, the infinite beyond conception, creation, the first letter, consciousness, Maya, the cause of the movement of the subtle body to perfection and beyond, the path of fulfillment, control, subtle illumination, one with the earth, emancipation, the soul of peace, the soul of delight, the soul of unity. All this is I, perfection, infinite consciousness, this is I. If you want a definition of I, it is the infinite beyond conception, the creation, the first letter, consciousness, Maya, the cause of the movement of the subtle body to perfection and beyond, the path of fulfillment, control, subtle illumination, one with the earth, emancipation, the soul of peace, the soul of delight, the soul of unity. All this is I. Perfection, infinite consciousness, this is I. Oh, my bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. You are situated in this life or individual consciousness. Om, the infinite beyond conception, creation, the first letter, consciousness, Maya, the cause of the movement of the subtle body to perfection and beyond, the path of fulfillment, the path of control, subtle illumination, path of fulfillment, control, subtle illumination, one with the earth, emancipation, the soul of peace, the soul of delight, the soul of unity. All this is I, perfection, infinite consciousness, this is I. Oh, my bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. You are all these organs of action and knowledge. 5 karmendriyas and the 5 gyanendriyas. The 5 organs of action and the 5 organs of knowledge. Om, the infinite beyond conception, creation, the first letter, consciousness, Maya, the cause of the movement of the subtle body to perfection and beyond, the path of fulfillment, control, subtle illumination, one with the earth, emancipation, the soul of peace, the soul of delight, the soul of unity. All this is I. Perfection, infinite consciousness, this is I. Oh, my bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. You are all these vibrations, the mind, sound, eyes, ears, tongue, nose, and life force. Bring forth infinite peace and establish it forever. I am one with God. And now, oh, my bow to Nam in the thumb, I bow. I bow to Ma in the forefinger, I am one with God. I bow to Shim in the middle finger, purify. I bow to Bom in the ring finger, cut the ego. I bow to Ya in the little finger, ultimate purity, and roll hand over hand, forwards and backwards. I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness with the weapon of virtue. Oh, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness. Tattva Mudra. Om Nam in the heart I bow. Om Ma on the top of the head, I'm one with God. Om Shim on the back of the head, purify. Om Bom, crossing both arms, cut the ego. Om Ya on the 3 eyes, ultimate purity, and roll hand over hand, forwards and back. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness with the weapon of virtue. Fun. Om, I bow to the consciousness of infinite goodness, and here we can perform our job. You can do 1 mala, you can do 10 malas. If you have a lot of people, you probably want to do 1 mala or 2 malas. And now we're going to establish that divine being in the fire. Om Namah Shivaya Shantaya Karanatraya Hetve Nivedayami Chatmanam Twangati Parameshwara. And put that flower, put that prana, put that life force on the flower, put the flower in the fire. And now we're going to say, Om Namah Shivaya, I invite you. Please come. I establish you within. I am binding you to remain here, and I'm sorry for any inconvenience that this causes you, but you would bestow abundant wealth, and I'm depending on you to forgive me in this matter. I surrender my soul to you. I bow to you with devotion. Oh God, please accept my worship. Oh God, remove all pain from your devotees. For so long as I worship you, please remain sitting still. And now we're going to worship that divine presence in the fire. O universal being, knower of all, come here with your red eyes. All of our karma, burn it. I am one with God. I offer you dupam, incense, deepam, a light, orgyam, a flower, pushpam, another flower, devedyam, something to eat, and tambulam, a betel nut, and say thanks. And now that I've worshipped you in the form of fire, I'm going to give you some ghee. Now remember, in Sanskrit, ghee is the word grit, and grit means illumination as well as clarified butter. So I'm pouring my illumination into the fire to make a greater illumination, and the union between my illumination and her illumination makes a big illumination, and hopefully our yajna really becomes efficient when we illuminate what it means to unite. To the Divine Father, I am one with God. To the moon, the emblem of devotion, I am one with God. To the divine fire and to the moon, the emblem of devotion, I am one with God. To the divine fire, to whom excellent honor is given, I am one with God. Om gross perception, I am one with God. Om subtle perception, I am one with God. Om intuitive perception, I am one with God. Om gross perception, subtle perception, Om intuitive perception, I am one with God. Swaha. O universal being, knower of all, come here with your red eyes. All of our karma, burn it. I am one with God. Om chit pingala hana hana daha daha pacha pacha sarva gyapaka gyapaka swaha. Om the infinite beyond conception, consciousness, the subtle canal which rises, purify, purify, burn, burn, bring to perfection, all wisdom, I am one with God. And now, we're ready to begin. Perform the Homa of the Sankalpa. Of course, Ganesh won the boon that he would be the first one worshipped. Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha. And Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Here we'll pause for this evening before we start the 1,000 names of Shiva. We'll see if there are any questions about the worship of Shiva or the enkindling of the divine Yajna fire. Yes, please.
When it says Om Gam Ganapate Swaha, is that 108 times? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Give him a mala. Be last of the big spenders. Go ahead. Give him a mala.
All of them we should do 108 mala, and whatever we can do 1,000 or as much.
Yeah, wherever we've got the name of a deity, we're going to offer oblations to. Pretty much you want to do 108 times, or unless it's a list of one of 1,000, and then you can just go through the list.
We have a question from Swarupananda in Seattle.
Namaste, Swarup.
Pranam. On page 239, the heart from which emanates 1,000 rays. Is this the Sahasrara chakra?
Well, it could be, or it could be your heart. Now, from whence cometh 1,000 rays? Whose heart gives forth 1,000 rays? How much do you love, Swarup? Isn't that your heart? It's a perfect definition of your heart, the heart of a devotee. So the heart that gives forth 1,000 rays, from which emanates 1,000 rays, it could be the Sahasrara, but that's not quite a heart. Let's just say it's your heart. It's the heart of a devotee. I'm doing this puja here. I'm inviting the gods here. I'm making this the home of the gods, the residence of the gods. All of the gods are established within. So now, where's the heart from which emanates 1,000 rays? And make it bigger.
We have a question from Ambika in Princeton.
Namaste, Ambika. Namaste, Sham.
Namaste. I understand we are supposed to hold on tight to the robes of our guru and give away our karma, pain, etc. But I also do not want to cause any work or be a burden to the guru. Can you help me understand how to reconcile this seeming discrepancy?
Yes, you can share but don't dump. You can share your karma and confide in your guru and give your best to your guru and ask for blessings for the others that you're going to handle. You can even describe your proposed process of handling those outstanding karmas. But ultimately, you'll take blessings from the guru and support the guru as she supports you. So it's not a burden to the guru. I mean, you don't say, okay, guru, I'm dumping this on your doorstep and you take care of it for me. You say, guru, this is the problem that confronts me today, and this is how I propose to alleviate it in the future. And do you ratify my proposed course of conduct? Do you agree with that, or is there something I'm missing? That's not a burden to the guru. If you said, okay, guru, you handle this for me. Here are all the papers, and I want you to read through the file, and then you give the appropriate responses to the people who need to be responded to. I would say that's kind of imposing. But if you say, Guruji, this is what the problems that face me, and how do I best confront these problems, and what's the most efficient way to allay these difficulties or to circumvent these obstacles, then taking the counsel of the guru, it's never harmful to take wise counsel. Never harmful, especially from someone who loves you and only wants you the best for you.
We have a question from Sadhana Shakti in Seattle.
Namaste, Sadhana Shakti.
Pranam. Is it appropriate to do jop of the Pran Pratishtha mantras?
No. You can do each series of mantras 4 times for each Pran Pratishtha that you perform, but just to sit down and say Om Mang Gang Ring Bong Long Lang Bong Bong Shang Sang Sang Long Sa Om Namo Shivaya Praniya Prana, that wouldn't be appropriate. You would do each, I mean, you got enough to do sadhana without trying to make that into a japa mantra. You'll do Pran Pratishtha to the deity. You will perform Pran Pratishtha to the pot. You will perform Pran Pratishtha in your heart, to the yantra on your heart. You'll perform Pran Pratishtha to the yantra on the altar. You will perform Pran Pratishtha in the fire. You got a pretty busy day. You've got a pretty lengthy schedule. As it is, you've got 3 hours of puja, you've got 1 hour to invoke the fire, and then you've probably got a 3-hour pot. And then if you want to do an Upasanghar Puja or an evening program after that. So you probably got 7 or 8 hours a day before you start. Why would you try to make jap of a mantra which has other intentions?
We have a question from Ramya in Bangalore.
Namaste, Rami Mami. Hope you had a good flight. We're missing you.
How can we make sacrifice a larger part of our goals? Thank you.
Rami, we talked about Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita telling us there was a Gyan Yajna, and there was a Karma Yajna, and there was a Gyan Yajna, and there's a Bhakti Yajna, and there's a Yajna with Seva, and there's a Yajna with the fire. All of these are yajnas. And there are many different forms of sacrifice. So this is how we make sacrifice an integral part of our daily life. By doing what we do with the love and the joy and the focus, the inspiration of doing a yajna. I'm making this as a sacrifice to demonstrate the sincerity of my love to you. That's why I'm doing these actions. And now it becomes a sacrifice. There is no ego there. It's an endeavor, an activity, an effort of union. I'm trying to reduce all of the separation between us. Between me and my beloved, between me and my God, between me and the fire, between me and the wisdom, between me and the knowledge. I gotta be me. It's about being one. One. Achieving that state of unity is the yajna. And that's what we're seeking to perform.
We have a question from Julia.
Namaste, Julia Ma.
Namaste. Why do the Pitanyas and the Kazakh Puja come after the circle of deities, the Sarvato Bhadra Manda Devata Stapan, but in the Shiva Puja it comes before the Yagya Padoti and the circle of deities?
Because in the Shiva Puja, we're doing it as part of... Actually, it's not the Pitanyas. We do the... are we doing Pitanyas here? Yes, we did. Okay. There are different padotis. The cosmic puja is an advanced puja, and the Shiva Puja is intermediate. The yajna is advanced. So in the cosmic puja, we are worshipping the 9 Durgas and the 9 Patrikas and the Ashtashakti and the 9 planets and the 9 Durgas again and the 16 Matrikas with Ganesh. We have all of these other deities that come into the puja. So this is the way that the cosmic puja set up, so that we could put the establish the yantra on our chest prior to the avahom, where you prior to the pran pratishtha. So, but in the Shiva Puja, we're just worshipping Ganesh and Guru and Shiva and saying a few words for the Sankalpa. May I please have the same kind of Sankalpa that Shiva has? Mom? Is that okay? And in this way, the Puja Padoti, the order of worship became different. There is no necessity. Once you become proficient, you can organize the puja the way you want it. But in order to learn it, you have to learn it in the order that it's presented. So you have a checklist of that you have everything. That's why I can't start puja in the middle. I have to start puja from the beginning. I don't start puja from the middle. I can't find my place.
How will you find?
How will I find? Right? So if I go to a deity and I offer Sindhu and I offer Chandan or Kumkum or Haridrang and Akshatam and Pushpa, and then somebody looks at me, I don't know where to go. I have to go to the beginning. Every one of my pujas begins with Sri Mahan Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. It starts with Ganesh. And then it goes by the padoti according to the Kram. So I have a checklist. Did I do everything that was supposed to be done? Oh, in the same way, you'll want to learn these pujas as they are presented when you become proficient with them, when you have it all upstairs, when you have it all in your heart, when you have a clear understanding of where you are and what you're doing and what your purpose is and who your audience is and who are the intended recipients or the beneficiaries of this puja. Then you'll be able, Julia, to say, okay, well, I can omit this part, I can omit that part, I'll edit this part, I can make the puja appropriate for the circumstances that confront me. For example, every morning on my own, by myself, I do the cosmic puja. It takes around 3 hours, and if I do a little more japa, it takes 3.5 hours, something like that. Now, if I go to your house and I do a 3.5 hour puja, everybody's stomach will be grumbling before I finish half the puja. What's appropriate in your house may not be the same thing that's appropriate at my altar at 2 o'clock in the morning. What's appropriate in that temple there may not be appropriate, it may not be the same as what's appropriate in my circumstance. I have to design the puja according to time, place, and circumstance. I can only do that if I start from the beginning. Because then I've got a checklist of what needs to be included and what I can exclude. This is the reason you'll want to learn these pujas as they are presented.
We have a question from Joseph from Rock Island.
Namaste! Namaste, Joseph.
Namaste. My son Mika and I made a Shiva lingam out of snow. What is the proper way to worship the sacred snow lingam?
With a lot of devotion. Joseph, take as much bhakti as you can possibly muster. Take your son there. Decorate your snow Shiva lingam. We made one out of sand in Someshwar, in Gujarat, right on the beach. Mom just started gathering up the sand. We made one out of snow at Mount Shasta. We made a snow Shiva lingam. We made one. So many. And then we took the flowers and we decorated him and we poured water on top of his head and we gave him all our love and all our devotion and sang to him and sat around and held hands and sang around the Shiva lingam. And just do the whole puja as much as you can to the snow lingam and then let him go back into the snow.
Dissolving.
Let him dissolve.
We have a question from Lori from Calgary.
Yes, namaste, Lori. We're missing you.
On page 244,
Yes, please.
is the subtle canal referred to the Pingala or the Sushumna?
The Shushumna. In the Shushumna is the Ira and the Pingala. I'm sorry, what page was that?
244.
244.
But that might be the physical.
We're talking about the Shushumna. That is a different book, or a different page numbering system. But we're talking about here it is, the Chit Pingala Hana. So we're talking about in the Pingala. The consciousness is the Chit, and the Pingala is the subtle canal that starts on the right nostril and goes to the left side and goes to the right side, and like a serpent coming all the way up and down. And it's within the Shushumna. So here we're talking about the Ira bringing the prana in and up and then all the way down. And the Pingala bringing the prana all the way up and out. So that we're talking about the Pingala in this verse.
We have a question from Srini in Bangalore.
Yes, Mr. Srini Baba, namaste.
Are there criteria to decide on when we offer ghee and when we offer masala or grains at the fire?
Are there criteria? Yes. First criteria of every puja, yajna, or homa, or whatever you're doing is what is practical in these circumstances. What is easily attainable, what is available, easily procurable. Don't spend your time wandering around the marketplace. If you have hundreds of devotees and everyone wants to bring something, okay, then bring the stuff that you need. Otherwise, don't worry about stuff. If you learn the mantra, the stuff will come. But if you spend your time wandering around looking for the stuff, you'll never learn the mantra. So learn the mantra. Put the emphasis on learning the mantra and chanting the mantra. That's the first rule. Next rule is what's practical. I've got two people sitting by a tiny Havan Kund. I'm not going to pour in 2 gallons of ghee. It's a tiny Havan Kund. What am I going to do with that? If I have you need more air, more room for the oxygen to burn masala than you do to burn the ghee. So if you can spread your fire so that you can get the masala into pockets where it will burn nicely and the oxygen will flow through and not smother the fire, then use masala. Now, if you have a tall fire and you have lots of offerers offering masala and you want to keep it burning brightly and blazing, then let them offer masala and you offer ghee if you've got the ghee.
Srini, I like ghee.
Ma likes ghee. So when Ma's buying, you pour ghee. When Swami's there, we offer masala. There are many times that you offer the ghee. And you have to remember, if you've got a big fire, you're going to burn your hand. I do it very frequently, even with a 30-inch shruva. I burn my hand because the fire's so tall and hot that you as soon as you reach over to pour the ghee, the heat, it doesn't have to touch your hand.
You like big fire.
Well, you have to have a big fire if you have a lot of people. The fire is the objective measurement of the community consciousness. If you have a little fire, it means that the community, if you have a big community with a little fire, that community isn't going very far. It doesn't have a lot of bhakti. If you have a big fire, you've got a big... fire is the objective measurement of the collective consciousness of all the participants. So if you have a lot of participants and you are a good pujari and you've inspired them properly, then that fire will be this tall. It's got to be over your head. And when you reach to pour the ghee, you've got to pour the ghee in different areas of the fire with each ablation. Because if you keep pouring it in the same place, it'll just puddle and it won't even burn. It'll just sit there and melt. So you pour a little bit of ghee on this side, and a little bit of ghee on that side, and a little bit in the center, and a little in the front, and a little in the back. And after a while of holding your hand over the fire, the heat from the fire causes your hand to burn. And if you look at my arms, I've got burn marks and scars all up and down my arms, mostly on the right side. Because I try to position myself so that my right hand can go farther. So sometimes it's really tapasya to offer the ghee, even though Ma likes ghee. You do the tapasya, but realize that you're not only going to burn your karma, you're going to burn your body too. Yes, please.
What's the difference between tapasya and sadhana?
Tapasya is motivated, purifying austerities, which are extremely difficult. It's sadhana on steroids. Sadhana is your regular discipline of what I'm doing, what I promised to do, God. I'm going to do nice things. I'm going to put flowers on the altar. Tapasya means I'm going to add heat. I'm going to do more. I'm going to overcome the hot and the cold. I'm going to not move my knees. I'm going to focus my attention in such a way as that I maintain the union between the inner fire and the outer fire.
It's not willpower.
Willpower. Yes. Sadhana with willpower for the purpose of purifying, to overcome the austerities, that's tapasya. Now, sometimes it's tapasya to refrain from doing sadhana. I have had many experiences where I consciously made a sankalpa not to do the puja so that other people could do the puja, and that was my tapasya. Was to be in the office 14 or 18 hours a day, rather than to be at the altar remembering the mantras that I love. And then it became tapasya again, to come back and remember all the mantras I forgot, and start all over, learning them and memorizing them and practicing them and refining the practice. And it was another, your sadhana will breathe. It inhales and it exhales. And it inhales and it exhales, and your tapasya will take on many different forms according to time, place, and circumstance. It may be tapasya for you to run your business, or it just may be sadhana. You might find it, oh, this is ordinary routine that just goes with the regularity of a water wheel. It's almost boring. I can do it with one hand tied behind my back.
But Maharaj, with sadhana, tapasya will come.
Yes,
With the, with the real sadhana.
that's true. With sadhana, tapasya will come. You will want to push yourself to go beyond the ordinary discipline, the regular discipline of your sankalpa, and push yourself and go farther and do more and offer the ghee and offer, even though it's burning, you're not going to miss a mantra. Even though you can feel the flesh burning, you can smell it, you're not going to miss a mantra. Even though your knees are aching or you've got a cramp in your leg, and you're not going to miss a mantra. That's where the tapasya comes. Because I have a sankalpa. I made a promise to God. I'm going to fulfill my promise. You better believe it. I don't care if you take me during the process, but I'm going to die trying. I'm not giving up. If I don't fulfill my end of the bargain, how can I hold you to yours? But if I do fulfill my end of the bargain and I do perform everything I said I would do, am I not entitled to expect that you will do the same for me?
Very hard to find.
Well, that's what it means to be in love with God. That's what it means to be surrendered to the Guru. I am doing everything I said I would do, and I'm doing a little bit more. And then I'm giving dakshina on top of that. Now, can I expect that?
Okay, 9 days when everybody do with their devotion, and 9 days, you'll say sadhana or tapasya?
Well, when they begin, for a lot of people, it's tapasya.
That is tapasya.
That's their form of tapasya, just to sit down for 15 minutes and do the first mantra. That's tapasya. They're trying to create a new rhythm, a new discipline, a new habit. They don't have the habit. For me, it's not tapasya to do a 3-hour puja.
You tell me that a whole month I made 108 Shiva Lingam. I did puja. What will you say, sadhana or tapasya?
I would say sadhana.
Sadhana.
Sadhana. Absolutely sadhana.
Okay.
Because, Mom, you can make your Shiva lingams with so much joy and so much love, and you've been doing it for so many years. You weren't pushing yourself to do something more, to do something extra. You were doing exactly what you said you would do.
Yeah.
Or maybe with her hand.
No, she didn't use that hand. She used her right hand. She's right-handed.
One hand.
But that was sadhana. That's your discipline. It's your rhythm of...
But you will not say I am making one hand. It is not tapasya.
No, I would say if you were clapping with one hand, that's tapasya.
I think it is tapasya.
All right, well, I'm certainly not going to argue with the boss.
Shiva, what do you say? I did tapasya or sadhana?
So tapasya for us will be when we go beyond and we know that there's a pain or a difficulty or something, but we stick with it and we do it anyway. And we continue until we complete the sankalpa completely. That will be tapasya. And sadhana will be, we do this every Sunday. We chant the Chandi with full
No, sadhana
devotion.
is every day our
Nitya karma.
nitya karma.
Right.
That is sadhana.
That's sadhana. The regular rhythm of spiritual discipline is sadhana. And tapasya is the irregular. I'm overcoming an obstacle. Of course, I am the only obstacle I have. I'm overcoming myself. I'm overcoming the tendencies of my ego to say, all right, Swam, get up and run. Let's get out of here.
But it is very interesting sadhana and tapasya.
Very good subject.
It's a good subject.
We have a question from Nanda related to the discussion.
Namaste, Nandama.
You talked about how doing sadhana leads to tapasya, but sometimes it also leads to slacking off. How to make the transition to tapasya when tempted to slack off?
That's tapasya.
So it changes.
It does. Your sadhana will breathe, it'll inhale, it'll exhale. You'll say, okay, now, lay alosha tejiya ori jabo kali nam. Hey, lazy bum, get up and sing the name of Kali. Ant me mi lati matri padi labite visram. Ultimately, you're going to find your rest at the feet of the goddess. That's where you'll find your rest. Now, hey, you lazy bum, we're Dharma bums. Get up and chant and sing and jop and tup. And then you have earn the privilege to do the sadhana. And from doing the sadhana, you get to go and expand that sadhana and make it more and make it brighter and stay there even though your hand is burning, or hold the ghee, even though pour the ghee, even though something is burning or you got blisters coming up. And that's tapasya. Or you take off your clothes and sit on the ice and you stay there even though it's cold. Even though you got some cold buns, or you sit in the hot water and it's hot, and you say, hey, I'm not moving till I finish this pot. So be uncomfortable if you want. Think about how uncomfortable you are, or think about how much you love God. Choice is yours. That's tapasya.
So it's like inspired, greatly inspired sadhana.
Yes, greatly inspired sadhana, and inspired to overcome the little ego attachments that say, hey, do something that's nice and comfortable and calm. What's all this tapasya business about? Do something that's polite, that doesn't hurt, that doesn't get you into trouble. And tapasya mind will say, no, I really want to overcome this little ego. I'm sticking with it. This is my sankalpa. I ride on that vrisha. I have that bull of determination. He's got a sankalpa, and I'm going to stick with this sankalpa until I bring it to fruition. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha.
Thank you.
Namaste.